What's up, baseball fans? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast network and channel. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the crew. I'm talking about Shy, Kelvin, and Jermaine. And for everyone who's tuning in, I hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help make the show the best that it can be. Now, man, this is crazy what's going on in the MLB postseason in the divisional round. I'm going to call this October Madness, like March Madness during the NCAA tournament, where you see upsets galore and all these Cinderellas trying to do the impossible. David taking down Goliath. That's pretty much what we've seen in the divisional round, where we had three teams during the regular season who won 100-plus games: the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Baltimore Orioles, and the Atlanta Braves. And the Tampa Bay Devil Rays almost won 100 games this season and lost in the wild card round. I've never seen nothing like it in baseball. So last night, the LA Dodgers, and what's crazy is these teams are getting swept. Like, the Los Angeles Dodgers got swept last night, lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Baltimore Orioles got swept and got beat by the Texas Rangers. And the Atlanta Braves are one game away from elimination, down, 2-1 to the Philadelphia Phillies. It's crazy. The only team that really advanced, that was favored to win the divisional round series, or the Houston Astros, who have advanced to the ALCS, the American League Championship Series, for the 7th straight year. So I'm trying to come up with an answer to what's going on. And I believe part of it is the unpredictability of postseason baseball. I believe it's the most thrilling, intense playoff of the three professional sports leagues, along with the NHL. Baseball is the most riveting because literally every pitch counts. I know like in basketball, they say every possession counts, or football playoffs, every down counts. But normally in football, in basketball, the better team is going to win and advance. Or the team with the best player, normally wins. Baseball is so many variables. A pitcher can get hot and shut down an entire lineup. Strike out the side, as they call it. Where their location on their pitches is so precise that the batters be left confused. They don't know what to do, how to adjust. But one of the things I believe is the issue is, because of the focus on, as they say, going for the fences or trying to go yard every at bat during the regular season, is such a high premium on trying to hit the home run. And what's being left out is, understanding how to manufacture runs during the postseason. Whether it's hitting opposite field, whether it's, moving the base runner from first to second base or from second to third base, the sacrifice squeeze, or sometimes the double steal, or the sacrifice fly, to ensure that you're going to bring that runner in. When you start talking about bases loaded with no outs and you don't score in that inning, there's something wrong that's going on. And I believe it's more than the opposition in terms of who's pitching. I think a lot of it is the approach to batting, the lack of, being able to steal bases at the appropriate time. As we saw in the past, during like the 80s and 90s, we had so many great base stealers during that time. The greatest leadoff hitter ever, Ricky Henderson. He's the all-time leader in stolen bases. Then you had Deion Sanders, who was a great base stealer. Vince Coleman of the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, Kenny Lofton, who played with various teams throughout his career. I mean, we can go on and on and on. But I believe a lot of it is during the regular season, like the Dodgers, the Braves. Now, the Braves won the World Series a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? And the Dodgers did win back in 2020. But the Braves won, I believe, in 2021. And, Baltimore has been a long time since they've been, a postseason threat, to possibly win the World Series. But I just think a lot of it is that teams and then analytics, by a lot of these managers, such as Dave Roberts for the Dodgers, I believe he's cost his team at least an additional, at worst, a World Series, but possibly 2 World Series. Trying to base his decisions, in the dugout, as far as who to start at pitcher. For the Dodgers, I believe their top mistake was starting Kershaw in Game 1. Knowing his postseason struggles, it would have been better if he would have started Game 3 on the road where there's less pressure. So you put him out there in Game 1, he gets blasted, 6 runs in the first inning, you have to take him out. That set the tone for the whole series right there. But in terms of Atlanta, and Baltimore, I think the lack of being able to manufacture runs cost them teams this postseason. And kudos to the wild card teams that beat those favorite teams, those heavily favored teams. They did something right. I think understanding how those favorite teams were so keen on trying to go yard, they pitched accordingly to counter that. And the Atlantas, the Dodgers, and, Philly, they could still come back and win it, possibly, but at the end of the day, the lack of a counter, the lack of switch hitting, I think hurt a lot of those teams too. And when them bats go cold, man, them bats go cold. You know what I'm saying? So I know I talk about the NBA a lot, talk about basketball and talk about football, after the Sunday games. But I just wanted to mention, what's going on in the baseball postseason. But that's my theory of it all. But I'm going to call this year baseball postseason October Madness, just like March Madness in the NCAA. So I just want to drop that real quick until next time. This is JB right here with BTB Behind the Bench.